Hi everyone, today I'll go through the general setup and introduction for CAPE, which as you know is a smart contract application that enables digital asset creator like yourself to create digital asset with configurable policy. So to start running CAPE, you first need to run and install Docker and Docker Compose. In the documentation, we have listed the instruction for command line to install Docker and Docker Compose on Mac, Linux, and Windows. So simply fire up your terminal and paste the command into your terminal to install Docker. I already have Docker installed on my computer, so I'll go ahead and skip that step. Next, you will need to download the YAML configuration file for CAPE. So to do this, you will need to use curl in your terminal. So navigate to the directory where you want to run CAPE, and then simply copy and paste the curl command and download the Docker Compose YAML file. After you have downloaded the Docker Compose file, you just need to run Docker Compose pull to pull the container containing CAPE, and then run Docker Compose up to actually run the wallet itself. So you can see now the wallet is running. So you just need to navigate to localhost on your browser. We recommend using Google Chrome to set up CAPE. So as you can expect, we don't have any CAPE currently installed. So we need to set up CAPE by first setting up a recovery phrase. If you're familiar with MetaMask, you will be familiar with the 12-word C phrase for setting up CAPE. Essentially, it's a C phrase that enable you to recover your wallet in case you forget your password. So make sure you copy and save it in a secure place. I will copy this recovery phrase and save it on a notepad so I can more easily input the C phrase to set up my wallet in this screen. So now I have the key phrase repeated. I just need to enter the name for the key store file for the wallet, and then enter in my password so I can recover the wallet more easily. Next, I'll create a key store file for the CAPE wallet. So your key store file contains all your key asset and transaction. So this does take a few minutes to create. While we're waiting for the key store to finish setting up, I'll just go through some basic overview for the CAPE wallet itself. So first, please remember CAPE is an experimental software and is meant to use as a demo. We appreciate your feedback, but as you interact with the wallet, please just keep that in mind. Second, I'll show this later in the video, but what's really great about CAPE is that you can create asset type and configure asset view policy and freezing policy. By setting up a view policy for the asset type you created, you'll be able to specify whether the holder of the view key can see the transaction graph for the asset type that you have created. Similarly, if you were able to configure the freezing key and the freezing policy, you'll be able to freeze the asset record associated with the asset type. So being able to set the view policy and freezing policy for CAPE asset type is a unique feature for the asset that you will be able to create through CAPE. Great. So now the wallet has been successfully created. We can go into the next step to request Cape token. So to use Cape, you will need to use some test Cape token to pay for transaction fee. Since this is a demo app, all the transaction fee has been set to 0. And just as a disclaimer, there's no monetary value that's actually associated with this Cape token. It's really only for test demo purpose only. We also give you the option to skip requesting Cape in case you have some friends that's using Cape already. They can send you the Cape token to interact with the Cape app. This does take a little bit of time to request as well. Great, now we have the Cape token. We can go on and proceed to the dashboard. So the first thing you see when you arrive at the Cape dashboard is the My Wallet section, where you can see that we have pre-populated some demo asset for user to interact with, which are the Cape USDC, Cape WETH, and Cape DAI, and obviously the Cape native token for transaction fees. So if you click on Learn More, you'll be able to see some of the asset details and all the view policy and freezing policy, if there's any associated with the Cape asset, as you can see here. Next on the My Wallet screen is the transaction section. So you'll be able to see all the transaction you have done with timestamps in this section. You can filter by asset type and transaction type as well. On the right-hand corner is a status bar that shows that your Cape is connected. You can also connect to your MetaMask account. We're on the Girly network, as you know. On the left-hand side, you see a menu of some of the popular Cape functions that you can perform with the wallet application. So in the new Cape sections, as I mentioned earlier, you can create new Cape asset and set view policy and freezing policy. So in this case, I have the option to either sponsor a new ERC20 based asset into your Cape asset, or creating a domestic Cape asset that's an asset that's local to the Cape wallet. If you're setting a new ERC20 based asset, you just need to enter in ERC20 asset contract address, and then set the asset details along with the view key and the freezing key to set the view policy and freezing policy. In the account section is the section where you will be able to generate the view key and freezing key that I just shown earlier in the new Cape's asset section. So this is the Cape address. You can generate more address if you want to use address for different purposes. If you go to the view key section, you can generate a view key, which you can use back in your new Cape asset section to create to set up the view policy. And if you were to go to the freezing key section, you'll be able to generate a freezing key, and this will enable you to go back to the new asset creation section to enable freezing of asset record for the new asset type you created. In the asset library, you again see basically all the Cape asset that you currently have in your wallet. You'll also be able to import Cape asset by pasting in the asset metadata into your wallet directory. You will also be able to copy paste your Cape address to request additional Cape token. So simply go to receive asset, copy paste your Cape address, and then paste it in this field and to request more Cape. Wrap and unwrap is associated with the ERC20 base asset type. So after you create a sponsored ERC20 asset, you can select it here and then wrap additional ERC20 asset from your MetaMask wallet into your Cape wallet by specifying the amount. In this case, I can specify Cape USDC and wrap additional amount into my Cape wallet. Similarly, you can also unwrap Cape asset back into Ethereum by selecting the Cape asset you want to unwrap and unwrap that amount. Last but not least, we also have a send section where you can choose asset you want to send and send it to another user. We'll go through this in greater detail in another video, but just want to highlight the main functionality. To make things easier to follow, we have included a documentation section where where you can see and read through more detail about Cape. And finally, on the lower left-hand corner, we have social link for Twitter and Discord where you can follow us along and check out any product update. So that's all for today's introduction walkthrough video. We encourage you to give Cape a try, and please give any bug feedback and feature request feedback as well in our feedback submission page. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy using Cape.